Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Let's make something fun and let's use a Dollar Tree football frame and make a 3D tulip wreath. Before you say you can't find the frame, watch the video. I will tell you how. So I want to give a big thank you to Sylvie from Forever Firefly Handcrafts and Sewing Solutions. Thank you so much, Sylvie, for sharing this idea with us. She made this fabulous wreath, and she makes other wreaths that you can purchase from her. So make sure you go to her Facebook page and check it out and let her know how much you appreciate her sharing her talent with us. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started on this wreath. Again, thank you, Sylvie from Forever Firefly Handcrafts and Sewing Solutions on Facebook. Make sure to go like her Facebook page and check out what she has that she can make and sell to you. Okay, guys? Give her some love. Let her know that we appreciate her sharing her technique with us. So let's talk about the frames, because I know a lot of you guys are going to look at that and say, I can't get a Dollar Tree football frame anymore. Well, I have a couple solutions for you, okay? Julie always comes with a solution. All right, so if you can't get the Dollar Tree football frame, I actually saw them at a Dollar Tree probably a few weeks ago in January. So some Dollar Trees might have a few of these laying around. I'm not really sure, but I think this is more of a fall product. But what you can do is, I did find some of these. I think people have bought these up and they're now selling them on Etsy. And I know they're like $5 a piece on Etsy, but if you really want to make this frame and you want this size, you can go to Etsy and find it, okay? Google it. You'll find some options, I promise. Now, the other option that you can do is, I asked Jeannie from Trendy Tree, I said, do you have like a football frame? And she said, well, we don't have a football frame, but this is like a centerpiece frame. And she sent this to me, and basically what I would do, it's a lot bigger, you know, a little bit, it's probably, let's see here, this is like 15 inches from tip to tip, whereas the football frame is, I believe, 10 inches. Well, no, the football frame is almost 13 inches, so it's only a little bit bigger. So the only thing different I would do with this, I would take off all these little tinsel pieces. Again, you're going to need heavy duty clippers like I have here. I think that these would probably work. I have these in my Amazon shop. Or you could even use, take a little like pliers or something and kind of twist them off. There's like a little spot here. Here, I think I can get it. Okay, there went part of it. And then I think if you used, if you use like, I don't know, like a screwdriver or something, and you could get the rest of that off. You just gotta, I don't have my glasses on. I left them upstairs. There we go. So these wire cutters would work. I got them, they're in my Amazon shop, okay? So you would just take all of these off, and you would do this the same way as I'm going to teach you here, but I would add one layer of petals, okay? So whatever layer you want to add, whether it's the lighter color or the darker color, I would just add one more layer, okay? So it would just make a little bit longer wreath, but you can order these from Trendy Tree. My link is down below. Okay, so now what color mesh am I going to use? Well, this is what I have laid out, and you basically can just kind of pick and choose. If you've got like leftover mesh in your your craft supplies, this is probably a really good wreath for that, simply because you're not using a whole roll of the light pink or a whole roll of this. You only need maybe so many. I can't think of how many petals. I'm going to need maybe 8 of these or 9. So you're not going to need everything like a whole roll. So this is a really good project to kind of go into your craft supplies and say, okay, what's left over? What do I have? So I'm going to use this yellow kind of fabric mesh just simply because I like the color of this yellow with this pink. You can use the yellow poly burlap. We're using all 10-inch rolls here, okay? So again, you can check out Trendy Tree for these and the Wreath shop. My links are in the description box below. So let's get started. We're gonna get cutting with our wood burner next. Okay, so we're gonna cut our mesh first. We're gonna do this fabric mesh that I got online, and I have the link for the wood burner in the description box below, but I'm also cutting on a glass cutting mat, okay? This is all found in my Amazon shop. Even the pink mat can be found in my Amazon shop, okay? So the link is down below. So I know you guys can always see my little light here, but it is what it is. So I'm going to cut this at 10 inches, okay? So I'm going to put on the screen here what I'm going to need to cut. I'm going to need 2 yellow, 3 lime green, 11 of the light pink, 18 of the dark pink, and 8 of the check mesh, okay? Now, I'm cutting all of it at 10 inches. Nothing is not cut at 10 inches, okay? So we're gonna cut these at 10 inches with the wood burner. And you might say, Julie, why are you using the wood burner? Well, it minimizes and reduces the amount of fraying that will happen if you use scissors or a rotary cutter. You're going to have that fraying, guys. It's just a matter of fact. You should be wearing a good mask when you cut this because it does put off fumes, okay? Now, a lot of people say, you know, my wood burner's not cutting my mesh well. Well, where did you get your mesh? Did you buy it from Hobby Lobby? Did you buy it from Michael's, Joann's? Their mesh is not the quality that you can get online. And honestly, by the time you purchase it online, honestly, I feel like you're saving money. You're not spending more money, okay? And it's just worth it, in my opinion, to buy your mesh online. Okay, so here's the checked mesh. So I'm going to cut like right in between this part because I want a nice kind of even look here. I'm going to cut that off. And then, okay, so my cut comes here. So I'm going to come like really close. So it's not quite 10 inches, but that's okay. It really won't make a difference. So I'm going to cut 8 of these. So I'm going to finish the cuts. Again, it'll all be in the description box below. The supply list is at the bottom, but I'll be back with everything cut and ready to go. So one of the steps we're going to do is we're going to cut a felt backing for our wreath. Is this necessary? No, but does it make your wreath look finished, and does it protect the door? Yes. So we're going to do that. So you can do it one of 2 ways. You can take a marker and you can go around it with a marker and then do what I'm doing here. But I'm just going to be a little lazy, guys, and I'm going to just take my rotary cutter here. Oops, I moved my frame a little bit. And I'm just going to go around it. Okay, so the first part of putting this together is that we need to add some pipe cleaners, okay? So we're going to use this wire and all these wires, but we're going to add pipe cleaners only between this section, and down here. We're not going to add it up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 pipe cleaners just to make sure that I have a nice sturdy section to work from, and I'm just going to, you know, wrap it around here. All right, so I'm going to start over here, and in the middle I'm going to wrap it around, and then I'm just going to wrap the pipe cleaner around itself. All right, so to keep this from moving up and down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the first cross bracket here, and I'm going to go underneath and pull my pipe cleaner around like so. And then I'm going to go to the next one, and this will keep our grid just a little bit more sturdy, in my opinion. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I get to the end. All right. And then I'm just going to zip tie it around the pipe cleaner itself. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing here and here. So I'm going to come back after I do those 2 steps. Okay, so for the first step, we are going to concentrate on the top tier here, and we are going to put a petal right here in the middle and over here. We're going to put 3 right here, okay, just like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put my zip tie kind of right there, And we're going to take one of our darker colors here. I'm going to form my simple fold over petal here, okay? This is what I normally do. So normally you would put it down like this, but we're going to flip it. We're going to flip it so that it's going outward, so that we're creating kind of a different look, so that when you look at it, it's going to have just kind of a 3D look. It's going to come this way. So I'm going to put, all right, so I'm going to put 3 of these, one here, and one here. I'm going to do it again. Take my poly burlap, meet in the middle, and form my petal, but I'm going to flip. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to put one more right here. Okay, so for the first step, we are going to concentrate on the top tier here, and we are going to put a petal right here in the middle and over here. We're going to put 3 right here, okay, just like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put my zip tie kind of right there, and we're going to take one of our darker colors here. I'm going to form my simple fold over petal here, okay? This is what I normally do. So normally you would put it down like this, but we're going to flip it. We're going to flip it so that it's going outward, so that we're creating kind of a different look, so that when you look at it, it's going to have just kind of a 3D look. It's going to come this way. So I'm going to put, all right, so I'm going to put 3 of these, one here, and one here. I'm going to do it again. Take my poly burlap, meet in the middle, and form my petal, but I'm going to flip. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to put one more right here. Step 2. Now we're going to put our yellow pieces right here. We have cut out 2 pieces, and we're going to do these a little different. We're going to form a triangle with our piece, and then we're going to just go up, and I'm going to hold it with this hand. I'm going to take another one, fold another triangle. I'm going to fold it up here, and then I'm going to place these on each side. I'm going to make a cross, okay? I'm going to bring them up. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to attach it to that middle section here. All right. I'm going to just kind of have it lay right there because we just want a little pop of yellow. All right. There you go. All right. I'm going to add another one of these going the opposite direction because I don't think I pulled the zip tie quite tight enough here. So I just want to make sure it stays. And it does. Yeah, I didn't pull that one quite tight enough because you can see the gap now. All right. So now what are we going to do? We are going to take our lighter colors and we're going to put 3 on each side of the yellow. So one is going to go here, here, and here, and the same thing on the other side. Here at the base, here, and here, okay? So how are we going to fold that one? Take your poly burlap, make the single fold petal here, okay? And we're not going to put it up like we did the back one here. We're going to put it this way, the way that you're used to seeing me do, okay? So let's put one right here. All right. Now we're going to go up to the next section right here, right there. It's a little different than a normal, round flower. But I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to do both sides here. So what I'm going to do differently, let me show you here in a moment. If you notice on this side, I have my finished edges on this side, okay? So what I want is I want the opposite on the other end. I want to make sure that my finished sides are on the other side. Let me show you how to make sure you accomplish that. For this side, to have the finished on the right, I make sure it's bottom and top finished. I meet in the middle, I flip it over, and I've got my finished side there. I'm going to put it right here. So let's see how we do it on the other side. For the other side, to keep it with the bottom finish, to be on the right side of the wreath here, I'm going to simply have my right side finished and left side finished meet in the middle. And when I'm going to put this one over top of here, I'll have that on this side. So you just turn your petal, and it's just about how you fold it, what direction you're folding it. So if you want your finished side on the left, you're going to have finished sides on both sides. If you want your finished side on the right, you're going to have your finished sides both here when you fold. So I'm going to put the 2 more, and then we'll be here for the next step. Okay, so as you can see, it's taking shape, and I think it looks really good. So here's the next bar, okay, that we're going to work on. So what are we going to do here? We're not going to put anything at the base of this wreath now. We're going to only focus on this section here. So there's 5 cross brackets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to put 5 of the light pinks on here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put 2 going this way, 2 going this way, and kind of in the middle, just pick a side if you want, okay? Because it's in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start. I'm going to put 5 of the same petals. Just depends. If you don't want to do what I'm doing and you don't want to worry about the direction of which, if the finish is on the right or the left, don't worry about it. This is just me doing me. That's what I do. So I'm going to put 1 here. And you kind of have to hold on to it because you're not having a flat surface to work on. So this is kind of fun to do something different. So make sure, if you want to buy one of these wreaths, make sure you go to Sylvie's page at Forever Firefly and Handcrafts, or Forever Firefly Handcrafts, okay? And make sure you like her page. So do one side, then you could do the other side, or go work your way across. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to put 5 of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the next layer, we're going to work on this white crossbar that we created. So what are we going to do here? So simply, we're going to repeat this process on this bar, but we are going to put 1 on the base now. So we're going to put 1 at the base, 1 at each of these brackets, with a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 petals. So let me just show you. I'm going to put my zip tie right there. Take my darker color and get creative. If you want to add some plaids, you want a different color on everything, do whatever you want to do and just have fun with it. This is a lot of fun when you get to decorate and do something a little different. It's always fun, you know. It's just such a great idea, and I just think it's so pretty. Put another one. And you're just going to work your way across all the way around. Okay, it's coming along. So what's the next step? Okay, so we're going to go down to the next bar. And this is where we're going to bring in our check and our dark mesh together. We're going to simply layer them inside of each other. The check should be on the outside, okay? And I'm not going to fuse these together because when I was talking to Sylvie, she said, I didn't fuse these together because I wanted the definition between the petals. So we're going to keep with that, okay? So where are we going to put these? Well, we're going to put them in the middle here. We're going to put 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So the 3 middle cross brackets we're going to do, okay? The thing we're not going to do is this one. We're going to just put it at the base of this wreath. So first off, I'm going to put 1 here and 1 here, and then I'm going to come back and show you that we're going to put it in the middle. So let's put the first one on. I've got them layered together. We're going to make our petal, and this gets a little thicker and that's okay. So just know you're gonna have to deal with it a little bit more, okay? Put one here. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. All right, it's kind of a handful. I think this would be pretty if you tried it with deco mesh as well. Okay, this gets really, really thick here. Pull it. Okay, so there's the first one. So now we're going to skip this one altogether, and we're going to put one here and one here. And then I'll put one on top, okay? So I'm going to put these down, one, and one on top. Okay, it's coming along. I think it looks really pretty. So now we're going to put the last layer of petals, and then we're going to add our green to it. So what are we going to do here? We are going to work on this white bracket that we made. We're going to put one in the middle right here, one here, and one here. So these three, we're going to mimic this right down here. So I'm going to put these petals on, and then I will come back and show you how to do the green. So again, you've seen me do this before. We're just going to do the same thing. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so before we get to the leaf part of this wreath, I'm going to take, this gets a little bit poofy. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that these are going to lay a little bit flatter to the leaf, or to the wreath here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wherever the trim here and the other trim piece meets, I'm going to let that get together there. I'm going to use my little fingertips. I have these in my Amazon shop. They're very handy to have. And then I'm going to just take a little bit glue here, and I'm just going to glue it to the top portion. I don't know if you can see that. Let me show you. I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to press it up. Okay. So I'm going to put that where the glue isn't going to show, but we're going to just kind of glue these up a little bit towards the wreath so that it's not as poofy and it's got more of that tulip shape. Okay. So I'm going to go through here and I'm just going to kind of glue here and there, and just use your own discretion and see what you like. Maybe you like it to look this way, but Sylvie did say when you hang it up, some of these petals like to come this way. So we're going to kind of help that progression of it to stay forward. I use Gorilla Glue sticks in my glue gun, by the way, just so that you know. And I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to add just a little bit of glue so it doesn't show. It doesn't need to be a lot of glue. And then you're just going to add another piece of glue here, and then you're going to hold it, okay? So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to do that step, and then I'm going to show you how to do the leaves. Okay, so I've glued forward a little bit of all these, just the checked and dark mesh petals here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the leaves to this wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 leaves going, and I'm going to use the second bar right here because I want to try to hide as much of the top of these zip ties where the leaf will be as much as I can, because I only want to do a big enough bow to kind of cover it all, because the bow is going to cover it. And so what I'm going to do for the left side, I'm going to make sure that my finished sides are on right and left, so that when I make my petal and I take the finished side over top of the other one, it's a little bit opposite is what I'm doing there. And then I'm going to lay this one underneath here. So take my zip tie, and I'm going to put the leaf right under there. All right. I feel like my nails match my wreath today. All right, so just pull it, kind of hold it there. Okay, and now I'm going to do the other side the same way. I'm just going to do this side just like I did the other one. So let's put the zip tie here. Grab it, and now I'm going to make sure that the finished side is bottom and the finished side is top, and make our petal. Okay, and then add it right here. Okay, you're just going to kind of fold the petal kind of underneath a little bit so that it just kind of goes with the shape of the wreath. So can you see that? It gets a little bit big there. It's a lot bigger in person than what you see maybe in the picture. So anyways, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, you know, the little like tentacles, I don't think that's the right word at all for this, that come out of a flower. We're going to layer them. We're going to just kind of stick them in down here. And you probably could have done this, when you put that first layer of petals. So I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner. I only have these lighter colors and I like the lighter color, and I'm just going to twist it. So so you can just see there, I'm going to twist it, and I'm just going to sprinkle, I think 3 of these. So like 1, and then we'll do 1 over here, maybe. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do this. You're just going to kind of twist it so that it kind of sticks up. And then 1 more. I'm going to kind of put it over here. So then you've got like these little tentacles coming out of your wreath if that's what you want. And that's what Sylvie did. So we're going to do that too. So now the next part is we are going to make a bow for this wreath. So let me get my supplies and show you what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to make a bow for our tulip. And what we're going to do, in Sylvie's original tulip, she just used a long piece of ribbon for the tail. And I really like the way that that looked. Now, if you want to do something different, you could get some mesh. You could get 21-inch mesh, cut a piece of it out, like maybe 30 inches long, and you could roll it vertically and make that a long stem for your flower. It's really up to you, but I'm going to keep it with how Sylvie did it because I liked it and I thought it was pretty. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my bow a little bit bigger because I need to cover all of this mesh here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I like to call the Mary Casey bow, and I have a video in my bow tutorial, and I'll link it below if you want to check it out. So what we're going to do is, this is just the kind of way that I grew up making bows, and my mom used to make bows. So I'm going to take a loop, and you're just going to do whatever size you want. I'm going to do about that much. And this is a green or a lime green, I think it's a faux burlap ribbon I got from the Wreath shop, and it is 2.5 inches wide. So I think that by the time I get done with this bow, it's going to be plenty big to cover our base of our wreath here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my first loop, and I'm going to kind of measure it here just so that I have a reference point for you. So I'm going to do like a 6-inch, let's see what 6 inches looks like. Let's do more. Let's do 7, okay? So I'm going to take 7 inches on this side, and I'm going to bring it in the middle, and I'm going to gather it, and I'm going to twist it, okay? And I'm going to measure out 7 more inches, and I'm going to gather it, bring it in the middle, and I'm going to twist it, okay? So now, when I twist it, I want to come down. I want to come down at like, I don't know, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4:30 maybe. And I want to do another 7 inches. So let me gather this. And I'm going to come down so that it's coming out like that. So then I'm going to flip it and I'm going to twist it. Because whether you see it or not, there does feel like there's 2 sides of this. I don't know. I guess you really don't have to be too particular, but if you have something on one side, it's good to twist, okay? So now I'm going to go up. So when I pull it this way, I'm coming back down at like that 4 to 5 o'clock loop there, okay? Got one there, one there. So I'm coming over here and I'm going to twist again. And now we're going to do one at about, 2 o'clock. So I'm going to take another 7 inches, come back. I got 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I don't know, 3 o'clock. So 2, 3, and 4. So now I'm going to twist it. Oops, see, even my ribbon gets all twisted up. If you want to try a bow maker, try a Pro Bow the hand. I love that one. But I know that not everybody has a bow maker, so I kind of feel like I need to show you how to do it by hand, okay? So now let's see. You got to hold it. It kind of gets a little tricky, all right? So let's move our wreath over, and let's see if that's going to be enough. I think it's going to be enough, and I think I have an idea of what to do here. So I'm going to make this bow. You know what? We're going to add one more loop on each side here, just to give it another loop and a little bit more coverage. Let me untangle my bows here, or my ribbon. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, let's measure 8 inches now. So I put my center on wherever I want it to be, okay? And so that way we're going to have even more. And then I'm going to measure again. Okay. All right. So at this point, I'm going to take my wire. I'm going to run it through where that main loop is. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to just twist really good here. I'm not going to cut the ribbon yet. Okay, I'm going to flip it back over. See, I already smashed it all. And I just want to make sure that's what I want to do. All right, so that looks pretty good. So what I want to do is I want to make this long enough, because we're going to hang it down. So I'm going to see about there, about there. So I want to make it a nice long tail. So I'm going to take, and this is where I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to just flip it over, and I'm going to lay it where the wires are, and I'm going to twist it again. All right, cut that extra out. I'm going to take it down here where it meets, and I'm going to cut it. And I think I'm going to just cut it at an angle, both sides. All right, so let's flip our bow here, and just, you're going to fluff it out. So let's see how much this covered. We're going to just put our wire through the top here and see how much we need to cover here. Yep, I think that's going to work. And what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to maybe glue a little bit of the ribbon down to ensure that it stays put, okay? So I'm just going to twist it on the inside here. I don't want to, okay, cut your extra wires off. All right, so at this point, before we poof all that out, I'm going to make a little place that we can hang this from. So you could use a zip tie or whatever, but I'm just going to take this pipe cleaner. I'm going to come down, and I'm going to wrap my pipe cleaner around this second bar here. All right. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. don't want it to show, so I'm going to pull it down just a little bit more here. I think that would be good. Just a little bit more maybe. And then I'm just going to twist it really good. And that's going to be our little loop. So now I'm going to get the felt and I'm going to cover the back, and then we will be almost done. Okay, so I think we are almost at the end here. I think this is a lot of fun. This is so different. I wish I could just there we go. You can kind of see it now. I had fun making this. I had fun because this was number one. This was something different than I don't normally do. Number two, one of you guys came up with this idea, and Sylvie, you did an amazing job. What a good imagination. So if you have an idea and you want me to share it, and if it's something that I can do, just email me. My email is below, and I'd like to share you guys' creations as well. So again, thank you, Sylvie, for sharing this with us, and thank you so much for being willing to go step by step with me on how you did this. This was a beautiful project. So the last thing you're going to do is you're going to take that piece of felt that I had you cut at the beginning. You're going to just turn your wreath over, and I'm just going to do it like I would do it for any of the other wreaths. I just poke holes, or even at this point, you could even just use some glue and glue this down, because we're not going to be hanging it. That's probably what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to glue that down to the back of the wreath frame, okay? But as you can see, this is what it looks in the back, and I think it looks really pretty in the front. And if you wanted to, you could even take some glue and you could glue the tails together a little bit to kind of keep just one long strand. And I might do that because when I take a picture of this, it's going to want to go this way, because I live in Michigan and it's going to want to lay a different way. We'll see. But if you've watched this far, in the comments, leave me tulips. There's a tulip emoji, okay? And thanks, Sylvie, for sharing her idea with us. I hope you enjoy this creation. I think it's the perfect wreath for spring, for Easter. It gets me in a good mood, because I know the sunshine is coming. The tulips are going to come out of the ground, and it just gets me excited. Because again, I live in Michigan. So anyways, thank you so much for taking your time to watch me here on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell, and join me on Facebook on Julie's Wreath Boutique and my group Wreath Creators and More. Until next time, bye-bye. Let's get started on what are we going to need to put together this 3D version of a tulip wreath that Sylvie from Forever Firefly Handcrafts and Sewing Solutions on Facebook is sharing with us. So thank you, Sylvie, for sharing this with us. Oh my goodness.
My pleasure.
Note to self, don't have your iPad here when you're trying to film. Siri said that it was her pleasure.